G'day, Angie Mahari here. With another tip or method or part of the process of building your way back from being abused and traumatized by a cluster B personality disorder individual. How can you reclaim yourself, or in the case of the adult child, who might be replicating things from a parent with a cluster B personality disorder in an adult relationship with somebody with a cluster B personality disorder, creating a resilient self, and knowing where you end and the narcissist or the person with BPD or psychopath who's ever raging at you, devouring you, projecting onto you, accusing you, blaming you, trying to provoke you, needing supply from you. Well, kind of using this, what I've heard the term, reverse gaslighting, can be very effective. And reverse gaslighting isn't gaslighting. It's simply how we, in our own minds and in our own selves, can start to take more control mindfully inside of ourselves, mindful self-control, as I talked about in another video, the only protection against BPD, NPD, and ASPD. We can't change them. We can't stop them from whatever they're going to do. But we can certainly change and learn how to stop how things they do affect us. And I mean, obviously, maybe not staying in the vicinity of the person or in contact with the person in some situations may be really helpful, or going more low contact. But that's really hard on parents of adult children with cluster B personality disorders, and whatever your case may be. So this reverse gaslighting is not gaslighting the narcissist, let's say, in this case, using the narcissist. It's stopping the narcissist gaslighting from working on you, from creating reaction in you that you demonstrate to them, or anything that gives them the supply that just encourages them to keep on doing what they're doing. Not that they'll probably keep on doing what they're doing anyway. But the change that we can make in building resiliency, emotionally and psychologically, what you can do for yourself, is about logically reminding yourself in a mindful way, while this person might be doing a smear campaign, while this person may be raging at you, while this person might be, whether near or close, whether an interpersonal relationship or not, whether they're trying to dictate to you what they want, period, and how the way they want it and what they want you to do, and they want you to do it because they want you to do it, and they're going to apply all this pressure on you to do it no matter what. Or it's going to be a smear campaign and a whole lot of drama, and they want to provoke you and upset you, and they might minimize what you do or what you've done or who you are or how you are. The point is that reverse gaslighting the narcissist, or reverse whatever the person with BPD might be doing, or what have you, is about being really mindfully logical and aware of not taking on anymore, not allowing in through a new boundary you're going to create, or a boundary you've been working on, or a boundary that you have now, between yourself and their stuff. And it's observing and not absorbing, right? And also in this sort of like, the term, I don't remember where I heard it. I'm not trying to claim, it's somebody else created it, the term reverse gaslighting. It's just sort of getting to a place where we believe, and where you can believe your own truth and what you know deep down in your gut. Or people can sometimes really lose it and be confused for a time until they start to understand what these people are doing to them. But what you really know inside about that it's theirs and not yours, and they're aiming it at you, and they need supply for you, all these things that most people, or a lot of people, already know. But how do you build resiliency? Basically in the healing process. And how do you get more emotionally and psychologically resilient as you go through healing, let alone as, if you're still encountering then the BPD kind of, devaluation, control, abuse, or a narcissist, seeking supply and using you and blaming you and accusing you and projecting all over you their stuff. Well, observing and absorbing, not absorbing, Observing and not absorbing gives a healthy detachment so that you can start. It will help you to relieve inside, at least momentarily, when you're in this mindful place, this logical, rational, self-empowered place. It says, what they're saying is not my truth. I don't have to believe what they're saying. I don't believe what they're saying. I know my truth. I'm holding on to my truth. That's not something you say to them. That's something for you to be mindfully thinking about. And whenever you go back to thoughts about them, or whenever, if they're still in your life, they're abusing you, is to remember that you don't have to let that permeate in the way that maybe it always has, or recently, up until recently, or maybe still is. And so this reverse gaslighting is really about being with yourself, empowering yourself, and putting a boundary between self and cluster B stuff, if I can put it that way. And so what you want to do is be really mindful of the fact that this has nothing to do with you. And so whatever they say, they can be so hurtful, so powerfully stress-inducing and impacting, and so painful, is to just not react. Because when we can get to the neutral place, I mean, we might still react. You might still react some inside at different times, or in thinking about things from the past even. But to not show ever to the borderline, the narcissist, or the psychopath, in whatever capacity they're doing things, and the ways in which they do, with their own tactics, do things that are abusive and for supply, and or in the case of BPD for maybe some other reasons as well. It's really important to know that you don't have to take that on, and your self is strong. Your logical self is strong. You want to strengthen that, and you must learn to detach emotionally and psychologically from the cluster B personality disorder person in your life, whether there's going to be any ongoing contact or not, depending on the relationship. And so reverse gaslighting a narcissist, for example, is really about you mentally, in your mind, mindfully thinking about, in a logical way, to the tactics of gaslighting. When they're gaslighting you, I don't believe you. That's not what happened. Or, you know your own truth. And just to have those statements going on in your own mind, to be thinking, those statements, having those thoughts, can really change the whole dynamic for you. And so when the narcissist is trying to pull a fast one on you, or any cluster B personality disorder person, then reverse gaslighting is really about you being able to maintain the knowledge, or start to gain the knowledge, if you're still figuring this out, about their manipulative tactics. And so when you learn that, then you can distance yourself. Going no contact is the best way, but not everyone can do that. Or going low contact, or just ending contact in the middle of that kind of abuse. But even if you're sort of stuck in a situation, then at least emotionally, not letting it permeate inside, and being really mindfully aware that you can observe it, and you don't have to absorb it. It's not yours. Whether it's their silent treatments, or their stonewalling behavior, or petty put-downs and manipulations, or really trying to control you in some manner of your life or work, and trying to tell you what to do, and really, there's so many things that cluster B personality disorder people do that is really about their past, and their woundedness and their pain. And that doesn't excuse it at all. It doesn't make it okay. But so you want to be in the process, if you aren't already, and or strengthening the process of building your own emotional and psychological resiliency. Not only recognizing what the borderline, the narcissist, or the psychopath, the cluster B personality disorder person in your life is doing, or trying to get from you, or, but you don't want to reward this impacting abusive behavior. So observe and don't absorb, And remind yourself mindfully that you're in control of you, not them. Doesn't matter what they have to say, what they're doing, not even in a smear campaign, not even in a public smear campaign. What matters way more than that is you knowing your truth, you hanging on to your truth, you believing in you. And so, in the sense that we call it, or it's called, I can't remember where I saw this, but reverse gaslighting is really just refusing to accept the gaslighting anymore, refusing to accept the manipulative, abusive tactics of cluster B personality disorder people by putting up an armor there around you of logic, self-empowerment, and mindful, logical, not observing, but not absorbing, and reminding yourself that you know your truth and that everything they're spewing and trying to do to you to get supply or control you or have you do what they want or whatever it is all about them. It's their problem, it's their issue, it's their stuff. But they love to share, don't they? But we don't have to let them share with us anymore. And when I say share, of course, I don't mean anything kind about that, right? But they love to dump. They love to push off on others. They narcissists and psychopaths get so much fuel and supply out of them. The worse you feel, the better they feel. It's so sadistic. But so the point is, think about it like reverse gaslighting. Think about the empowerment that you can put in there with logic and mindful thinking about your boundary and not letting that permeate inside you anymore. Or if it's inside you already still and you're away from this person, then not letting when the memories come up or when you're flooded again by the feelings, to get back into taking it on again. It's really important to know it's not yours and you can let it go. You don't have to take it in anymore. And you need to continually be letting it go. So that's just another way. And there are so many ways, but that's just, what I wanted to share in this video about how to empower yourself, whether you're in a situation, whether you're right now being gaslit, whether you're being controlled, manipulated, and abused, and, put down and told what to do by a narcissist or a cluster B personality individual who may well not know that they're a cluster B individual, but nonetheless, recognizing what someone is trying to do to you and stopping it and not feeding it and not giving it supply and controlling yourself and not reacting is what's within your grasp or what you can do or what you might be doing now. That's the empowerment you need in your life.